Beloved, I want you to hear me clearly today. Life is not for the faint-hearted, and success is never handed to those who give halfway. God has placed in you a calling, a destiny, and a purpose that demands your full effort. There is a fire within you that will not be satisfied with mediocrity. Too many walk through life hoping for victory without sweat, longing for breakthrough without persistence, dreaming of results without effort. But God did not create you for half-hearted attempts. He created you to give your all until you win, to fight with endurance, to rise every time you fall, and to press forward even when the path seems impossible. The enemy will whisper that you are too weak, that your efforts are in vain, that your failures define you, but do not listen. Your breakthrough is already prepared, it is already ordained. Every struggle, every setback, every moment of weariness is a stepping stone God is using to shape your strength, refine your character, and prepare you for the victory He promised. There is a season for perseverance, a time for relentless effort, and a divine reward for those who refuse to quit. I challenge you today to stop giving in halfway, to stop settling for less than what God has called you to achieve. The world may applaud instant success, but the kingdom of God honors faithfulness, resilience, and persistence. When you give your efforts fully, with a heart committed to God's purpose, your life becomes unstoppable. Even when the doors seem closed, even when people doubt you, even when circumstances scream defeat, you must rise and keep pressing. This message is not just about working harder, it is about working with wisdom, with faith, with purpose, and with the certainty that God sees every ounce of effort you pour into your calling. Today, I want you to see that every effort matters, every step counts, and every moment invested in obedience to God's plan moves you closer to your victory. Stay with me, because by the time this message ends, you will understand that giving your all until you win is not optional. It is essential. It is the difference between dreams unfulfilled and destinies realized. Your breakthrough is coming, but it requires effort, persistence, and unwavering faith. Are you ready to rise, to fight, and to claim the victory that God has prepared for you? Then let us dive into these lessons that will transform the way you work, the way you persevere, and the way you win in every area of your life. Beloved, hear me carefully. God never calls us to half-hearted service, to a life of mediocrity, or to efforts that are lukewarm. Colossians 3:23 reminds us, whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men. This is not a suggestion, it is a divine mandate. Every ounce of energy, every drop of dedication, every moment of focus you invest in your God-given assignment matters. When you commit fully, you are aligning yourself with the eternal principles of purpose, diligence, and excellence. To work heartily is to recognize that your labor is not meaningless. It carries weight, value, and significance before the eyes of God. Too many people approach their calling with hesitation, holding back portions of their potential because they fear failure, judgment, or exhaustion. But God is calling you to step into the fullness of your assignment without reservation. To commit fully is to bring integrity to every task, whether large or small, visible or hidden. It is to work as if God Himself is observing, because He is. Your effort becomes worship, and your diligence becomes the instrument through which His glory is revealed in the earth. Nothing is insignificant when done with wholehearted intention and obedience to God's will. Commitment demands focus. The world will try to distract you with comparison, criticism, and doubt. It will tell you that your labor is in vain, that your dreams are too big, that your time and energy are wasted. Do not listen. Every purposeful act, no matter how small, is an investment in the kingdom and in your destiny. True commitment is measured not by convenience or comfort, but by consistency and persistence, even when the work is unseen, thankless, or difficult. When you give your all, you are creating momentum that cannot be stopped, building character that cannot be shaken, and producing fruit that cannot be denied. To commit fully is also to align your efforts with intention. It is not merely about doing, it is about doing with wisdom, strategy, and prayerful insight. Effort without direction is like a river without a channel. It spreads aimlessly, loses force, and fails to accomplish the purpose it was meant to fulfill. But when your labor is directed by God, every step is calculated, every action purposeful, and every decision focused on the fulfillment of His plan. Your commitment becomes a testimony of faith, a declaration that you will not be idle, and a signal to the enemy that your life is governed by divine purpose, not human limitation. Beloved, understand this: giving less than your best is a waste of potential. Giving fully is the key to unlocking doors, releasing favor, and walking in victory. It is the bridge between dreams and reality, between intention and manifestation. When you commit fully, you rise above mediocrity, embrace excellence, and prepare the ground for God's miraculous intervention. Do not hold back. Let your work, your dedication, and your persistence be a reflection of your love for God and your devotion to the calling He has placed within you. The world may overlook your effort, but God sees it, honors it, and will multiply it beyond measure. Your breakthrough begins when you give all that you are, all that you have, and all that you can to the task at hand, until victory is inevitable. Beloved, listen carefully. Life is not designed to hand out victories to those who quit at the first sign of difficulty. Trials are not punishments, they are divine instruments of refinement. James 1:12 tells us that blessed is the one who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life. Every challenge you face is a divine opportunity to strengthen your faith, to sharpen your character, and to prepare you for the victories that God has ordained. Endurance is not optional, it is the pathway through which breakthroughs are secured. Perseverance requires resilience, a determination that refuses to yield when obstacles appear. The enemy will whisper discouragement, telling you that your efforts are wasted, that your dreams are too big, or that your circumstances are too difficult. Do not listen. Each trial is a test of your commitment to God's plan. When you endure, you are demonstrating that your faith is stronger than fear, that your purpose is greater than your pain, and that your vision is more powerful than the temporary setbacks that surround you. Understand this clearly: endurance is learned in the furnace of life. It is cultivated in moments of struggle, in days when success seems distant, and when the world fails to recognize your effort. Perseverance trains your mind to focus on the unseen, your heart to trust in God's timing, and your spirit to rise above every discouragement. Those who persist are the ones who eventually experience triumph. Victory is not always immediate, but it is inevitable for those who refuse to quit. When you persevere, your life becomes a testimony. Others may fail under pressure, but your steadfastness inspires, motivates, and demonstrates that God's favor rests on those who do not give up. Your endurance is proof that divine strength is at work within you, equipping you for higher levels of influence and impact. Every challenge you overcome builds momentum, and every moment of persistence creates a foundation for lasting success. Beloved, do not allow temporary difficulties to steal your purpose. Stand firm, endure the trials, and allow God to use every challenge as a stepping stone toward victory. The path may be difficult, but the crown of life awaits those who remain faithful. Let your perseverance shine as a beacon of hope and a demonstration of divine faithfulness. Keep moving forward, keep trusting God, and keep giving your efforts until victory is realized. Beloved, failure is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your refinement. Proverbs 2:14-16 says, "For the righteous falls 7 times and rises again." Every failure carries within it a lesson, a revelation, and an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Those who fear failure become stagnant. Those who embrace it as a teacher move steadily toward victory. Mistakes are not signs of defeat. They are stepping stones toward the fulfillment of God's plan. When you fail, do not allow shame or regret to paralyze you. Instead, examine what went wrong, learn from the experience, and rise again with greater clarity and determination. Each misstep reveals areas that need improvement, highlights weaknesses that must be strengthened, and teaches lessons that no success could ever teach. God uses failure to stretch your faith, to test your resolve, and to reveal the hidden potential within you that can only emerge through adversity. Failure also teaches humility. It reminds you that your strength alone is insufficient, that you must depend on God's wisdom, guidance, and strength. Those who rise after failure demonstrate resilience, courage, and a refusal to allow circumstances to define their destiny. Each time you get up, you affirm that your identity and purpose are rooted in God, not in temporary success or external approval. Remember, success is rarely instantaneous. It is the cumulative result of repeated effort, lessons learned, and resilience in the face of setbacks. The righteous fall, but they rise with intention. They rise with greater knowledge, greater discipline, and greater readiness to seize the opportunities that await them. Failure is not a sign of weakness. It is the crucible in which victory is forged. Beloved, embrace your failures. Do not despise the lessons they bring. Rise each time with renewed vigor, armed with wisdom gained from the experience. Let every mistake be a teacher, every setback a signal to adjust your strategy, and every fall a preparation for a greater rise. When you learn from failure, when you refuse to be defeated by it, and when you continue to give your efforts faithfully, victory becomes inevitable. Your resilience, Your persistence and your commitment to learn are what will ultimately distinguish you as a conqueror in every area of your life. Beloved, understand this truth: God's timing is perfect, precise, and intentional. Ecclesiastes 31 reminds us, "For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven." There is a divine order to your life, a God-ordained schedule that cannot be rushed, manipulated, or dictated by human impatience. Every breakthrough, every victory, every manifestation of your purpose arrives at the appointed time. To trust God's timing is to recognize that persistence is not futile. It is the pathway through which divine favor is activated, and your efforts are aligned with eternal strategy. Too often we become anxious when progress seems delayed. We measure success by the calendar of the world, not by the clock of heaven. We compare ourselves to others, panic when doors do not open immediately, and doubt God's plan when the results are not instant. But God is not late. Every delay is deliberate. Every season of waiting is an opportunity for preparation, refinement, and growth. Trusting God's timing means understanding that what you see now is temporary and what He has prepared is eternal. It is about walking in faith, continuing your labor, and giving your effort consistently, even when there is no visible reward. Persistence in God's timing also builds character. The period of preparation tests your patience, strengthens your resolve, and teaches you lessons that immediate success never could. While you work faithfully, God is orchestrating circumstances, aligning resources, and opening doors that you cannot yet see. This is why giving up is never an option. Every step you take in obedience, every effort you pour into your purpose, is weaving into the fabric of the breakthrough that God has already planned. Your persistence aligns your life with His perfect design. Beloved, trusting God's timing does not mean inactivity. It does not mean waiting idly while life passes by. It means working with diligence, serving with faithfulness, and cultivating your gifts while keeping your heart anchored in His plan. There is power in faithful action during the waiting season. Each effort, each sacrifice, each moment of discipline is not wasted. It is preparing you for the exact time when God will bring fruit, open doors, and reveal the victory that you have been laboring toward. Do not let impatience steal your peace. Do not let frustration cause you to quit. God is never early, never late, and never forgetful. He is orchestrating the perfect sequence that will maximize the impact of your efforts. To trust His timing is to surrender control, to release anxiety, and to continue giving your best until the appointed moment of breakthrough arrives. Beloved, understand this: your breakthrough is already written in God's plan. Your persistence is the key that unlocks it. Keep working, keep believing, keep serving with excellence, and remain steadfast. When the time comes, the doors will open, the victory will manifest, and the fruit of your labor will astonish you and those around you. Trust God's timing completely, because in His perfect season, every faithful effort will bear fruit. Every prayer will be answered, and every promise will be fulfilled in ways beyond human imagination. Beloved, hear me. Focus is the engine of progress, and distraction is the enemy of destiny. Philippians 30:14 declares, "I press on toward the goal for the prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus." Notice the word press. It is active, determined, relentless. Life will bombard you with interruptions, temptations, opinions, and noise that threaten to divert your energy from the path God has set before you. To stay focused is to refuse to be pulled away by the clamor of the world, by the criticism of others, or by the fleeting allure of comfort. Your calling requires unwavering attention. Distraction steals momentum. Every time you shift your energy from your purpose to a trivial matter, you lose ground that cannot easily be regained. Every diverted thought, every wasted hour, every indulgence of curiosity that does not serve your calling is a small but costly delay. But when you remain steadfast, eyes fixed on the goal, your efforts compound. Focus multiplies productivity. Focus accelerates growth. Focus ensures that the labor you pour out produces results that are significant, lasting, and impactful. Beloved, maintaining focus requires discipline of the mind and commitment of the heart. It requires saying no to what is irrelevant, to what is convenient, and to what appeals to the flesh, but not to God. Focus is not just a mental exercise, it is spiritual warfare. The enemy will do everything to pull your attention away from the divine plan. He will sow doubt, provoke impatience, and present distractions disguised as opportunities. But you must rise above. Press forward with the prize in mind. Let every action, every thought, and every decision serve the goal that God has revealed to you. Remaining focused is also a demonstration of faith. You are declaring to God, "I trust your plan more than I trust my comfort. I will not be swayed by the noise around me. I will invest fully in what you have called me to do." Your steadfast attention becomes a magnet for divine favor, clarity, and opportunity. When your focus is pure, your path becomes illuminated, and the forces of distraction lose their power. Beloved, remember this success is not measured by how busy you are, but by how focused you are. You can work tirelessly yet accomplish little if your energy is scattered. But when you press on with disciplined focus toward the goal, every effort produces fruit. The upward call of God is realized through consistent, intentional, and undistracted pursuit. Refuse to allow trivial matters to derail your destiny. Press on, stay disciplined. Keep your eyes on the ultimate prize. Victory belongs to those who do not waver, do not stray, and do not allow the noise of the world to deflect them from the path God has designed. Beloved, never underestimate the power of small victories. Zechariah 40:10 reminds us, do not despise the day of small beginnings. Often, we look at our ultimate goals and feel overwhelmed by their magnitude, forgetting that every great achievement is built on the foundation of consistent, incremental progress. Small wins are not insignificant. They are the building blocks of momentum, the daily deposits into the account of your destiny. Each step forward, no matter how minor it may seem, moves you closer to the fulfillment of God's plan. Celebrating small wins cultivates encouragement, sustains motivation, and strengthens resolve. When you recognize progress, you honor the process God is using to develop you. You acknowledge that every effort, every lesson learned, and every victory over temptation or distraction counts toward your growth. Small achievements create confidence. They remind you that your efforts are producing results, even when the ultimate breakthrough has not yet manifested. Momentum is cumulative. A small victory today compounds with another tomorrow and another the day after. Just as a stream begins as a trickle before it becomes a river, your consistent actions, no matter how minor they appear, will eventually produce an unstoppable force of success. Every accomplishment, every lesson applied, every effort repeated faithfully becomes a stepping stone that propels you forward. Do not ignore these moments. They are the divine signals that your persistence is bearing fruit. Celebrating small wins also strengthens your spiritual perspective. It teaches you gratitude, humility, and awareness of God's hand in your life. It reminds you that success is not solely measured by public recognition, but by faithful obedience, consistency, and alignment with God's will. By acknowledging these victories, you cultivate a mindset of progress and confidence that prepares you for the larger breakthroughs ahead. Beloved, the journey to victory is not a single leap. It is a series of intentional steps, a daily commitment, and faithful action. Each small win is a proof point, a divine confirmation that you are on the right path. Celebrate them. Use them to fuel your perseverance. Let them remind you that God honors faithfulness, multiplies effort, and rewards persistence. Over time, these small victories accumulate into monumental success. Your destiny unfolds one step at a time, and the seemingly insignificant victories of today are the foundation of the triumphs of tomorrow. Keep going. Remain faithful. Celebrate every step, for in the small beginnings, the glory of the finished work is being prepared. Beloved, as we draw this message to a close, let us reflect on the spiritual truths we have uncovered together. Life is a battlefield of effort, persistence, focus, and divine timing. God has called each of us to rise, to give our all, to persevere in faith, and to trust Him completely. We have learned that persistence is not optional. It is mandatory for anyone who desires victory. Every effort poured out in faith, every obstacle endured, and every lesson learned from failure is a step toward the fulfillment of the purpose God has placed within us. You cannot shortcut the process, you cannot outsource the responsibility, and you cannot rely on the approval of men. Your effort, guided by God's wisdom and sustained by your faith, is the force that moves mountains and unlocks your destiny. We have also seen that God's timing is perfect. Every delay, every period of preparation, every season of waiting is intentional. Trusting His timing requires faith, patience, and unwavering focus. There is power in staying committed when no one is watching, in pressing forward despite distractions, and in aligning your efforts with His divine plan. To trust God is to operate with the confidence that He is orchestrating circumstances that will maximize the impact of your labor. Every faithful action, no matter how small or unseen, is building momentum for the victory that is coming. This is why consistency, diligence, and focused effort cannot be ignored. They are the instruments through which God manifests His promises in your life. Beloved, focus is the key that turns effort into results. Distractions will always be present, opinions will always seek to sway you, and challenges will attempt to derail you. But staying steadfast on the path God has laid before you ensures that your energy produces lasting fruit. The the disciplined mind, and the disciplined heart are the hallmarks of those who are serious about their calling. Every small victory compounds, every effort counts, and every step taken in obedience is multiplied beyond measure. Momentum is built daily. Triumph is the product of persistent effort, focus, and the courage to keep going when others have given up. As we conclude, remember this: success is not measured by applause, by attention, or by immediate results. Success is measured by faithfulness, perseverance, and alignment with God's purpose. Your breakthrough will come, your efforts will be rewarded, and your destiny will manifest, but only if you continue to give your best, remain consistent, and trust in God's timing. The journey is not always easy, but the reward is eternal. I thank you, dear friends, for your attention, your willingness to receive this word, and your commitment to apply it in your life. May the Lord strengthen your hands, sharpen your focus, and ignite a fire of persistence in your heart. May you leave here today determined to give your all, to press on in faith, and to remain steadfast until your victory is fully realized. Go forth, live deliberately, work diligently, trust unwaveringly, and remember your efforts aligned with God will never be wasted. Thank you, and may God's favor, wisdom, and strength accompany you in every step you take toward your destiny. Keep moving, keep striving, and keep giving until you win. The best is yet to come.